So here's my crested gecko setup. I'm going to do a care video on crested geckos. Eventually these guys are going to be my breeding, I got 4 of them. They're going to be my breeding geckos, but most of them are still young. I have 3 babies that are all about this size. Kind of hard to see them because there's water on the glass. I got 3 that size. I just got them today. And then I got one that's a little larger. Not an adult at all. He's still pretty small, but he's bigger than the ones I got. And then there's 2 more hiding in here somewhere. Now for crested geckos, they don't really need that much heat. Their cage can be anywhere between 75 and 85 degrees. You really shouldn't get any hotter than that. I keep their cage warm with a heat pad. I got a extra small heat pad. I think it's like 4 by 5 inches only under this side of the cage. And since my top is a glass top, and I sealed it off completely in back with tape, since it's a glass top, it holds in the heat and also the moisture very well. And getting around to that, moisture is also a very important thing in a crested gecko cage. They need a humidity of at least 50%, up to 75%. So you're going to want to have either a spray mister, just a hand one, or something like I have. I have the habba mister. And if you have a hand mister, you're going to want to spray a couple times a day. Have a humidity gauge in your tank so you know what the humidity is. What I use though is this habba mister, and how this works is on this side you take off the top and you fill it with water. I think it holds 16 ounces of water, and for my cage it lasts about 6-7 days before I have to fill. I have mine to set to spray once every 12 hours for 15 seconds. You can set it to spray once every hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, or 12 hours. Oh, I said that wrong actually before. I have mine set to spray, yeah, once every 12 hours for 15 seconds. Okay, so you can have it spray for those hour intervals, and then on the hour that it sprays, you can have it spray for 15, 30, 45, or 60 seconds. And it basically, you can do it 2 ways. You can put the whole machine in your cage, and this top nozzle it'll spray out of. So you can hang this machine inside of your cage and just have it spray from there. Or you can turn off this top nozzle and attach this hose that comes with it. And then the hose has a nozzle on the other side. So I'm going to turn off and on the machine, and that'll make it spray. It sprays when you turn it on, and that's when it starts timing itself. So I'm going to turn it on now, and this is how it works. Oh, I have it stuck in the glass top. There we go. That's how it sprays. It wasn't spraying for a second there. I gotta fix that. It was stuck in the glass top up here. The hose was pinched. That's why it wasn't spraying at first. So I gotta just make sure that doesn't happen. But as you saw, it sprays out really nicely. Like I said, I only have it spraying every 12 hours for 15 seconds. Now if you have a wire top cage that the humidity is going to get out of quicker, you might want to have it spray like every 6 hours for 30 seconds. Have it spray a little more if you have a wire top cage. Now you can find these at pet stores or online, and usually they cost between $50 and $70. I even saw them at a pet shop around here for over $100. It's just crazy. I mean, all it is a water pump and just a water holder, you know, and a timer. I found this online actually for under $40. Actually, I think it's under $35. So if you want to know where to get this brand new, send me a message and I'll let you know where to get this for like $35 online. A couple more things they need on their tank, and then I'll go through their food. They're nocturnal animals. They don't require UVB light. However, some people say that it really benefits them. So it's not going to hurt them to put one on. So I'd recommend, if you have one sitting around your house, or if you have enough money to buy one, just go ahead and get a UVB light to put on. This is just a ESU Slimline Reptile light. I don't know how much it was. I think it was like 30 bucks. Sometimes the Reptile UVB lights can be kind of expensive, but you can find some on good sales, or you can find some cheaper. So do get one if you get some crested geckos. It's good to have on their cage. It helps them with calcium absorption. But if you don't have one, they should be okay. And that's about their tank setup. They love to have plants. They really don't use hides that much. They're not going to go on the ground and into a hide really. If they have plants in the cage, they're going to go and hide in them. That's where all of them usually are. I'm actually kind of amazed that I can't see him anymore. He went back there. I'm amazed he was walking around. The other two babies I have are in this tree, and the other one's eating. That's usually the only time I see them come out, is when they're eating. They're usually in these trees. Now I feed them in this bowl, Crested Gecko diet. You need to have this stuff. It has all the nutrition they need. You're going to feed them insects as well, but you need to have Crested Gecko diet. You mix it with water and you put it in the cage. I fill it once a night, and then clean it out and put it in again the next night. And you can substitute this with applesauce or baby food if you have to for a couple days if you run out. But don't use those for long term. You need to get the real Crested Gecko diet. I'm not actually 100% sure if Crested Geckos need a calcium dish in their cage. I do dust their feeder crickets and feeder mealworms with calcium dust and reptile vitamins sometimes, but I'm not sure if they need a dish in the cage. So I'm going to look that up, and you should look it up too if you're getting a Crested Gecko, if you should have a calcium dish in the cage. You should also have a water dish depending how you have your cage set up. I actually don't have a water dish in my cage, and the reason is because of the habba mist. It sprays twice a day, and I'm going to spray it again. I'll spray it again. It's going to make their habitat a little humid. I'll have to open it up. But as you can see, when this sprays, is it stuck again? I gotta fix this pinch. There we go. When it sprays, it gets all over these plants. You can see it dripping right there. So they get their water off these plants twice a day. These plants are soaked. The front wall is soaked, and plus the food is half water. So, well, it's not half. It's 2 parts water to 1 part the food. So it's a little more than that water actually. So they get plenty of water. But if you're using a hand mister, or if you don't have plants in your trees that are collecting water, putting a water dish in is always a good idea too. Just like the light, put it in there. It's better to have it in there than not, in case the misting isn't enough. And in this tank I'm using reptile carpet. For bedding or substrate, you can use all types of things from reptile carpet, sand, aspen bedding. Don't use pine or cedar, but aspen's fine. A couple other things, you can use the reptile coconut husk, I think it's Echo Earth. All types of things you can use. I would recommend using something they can't eat, like the reptile carpet. You could even use paper towel, but something they can't eat is good. I use aspen for my leopard geckos down here, and I find it to be fine also. It's pretty dry and it doesn't stick to their food. But leopard geckos have dry enclosures, hot dry enclosures. So the bedding is dry and it's not sticky at all. In a crested gecko cage, you're going to have a lot more humidity. So the substrate's going to be more moist. So it'll stick to food a lot easier, especially sand. So in your crested gecko cage, I'd really recommend some type of reptile carpet. Sorry. So I think that's about it.